पावन जो सुंदर की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। चलो श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी कस्यतारिशतारिणे Shikha
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajakacara Nityalila Pravishta Astotar Shatashti Shishmad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Srila Prabhupada ki Sakshat Vairagya Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj ki Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivedanta Thakur ki Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Sri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Shri Rup Shri Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Sarva Goswami Vrinda ki Namachala Shri Haridas Thakur ki Yogadharma Harinam Sankirtan ki Amal Puran Srimad Bhagavatam ki Ganga Mai ki Jamuna Mai ki Bhakti Devi Tulsi Maharani ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki Mayapur Navadvip Dham ki Shri Kshetra Shri Jagannath Dham ki Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Gaurada Shiva Shankarati ki Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Hiranyaka Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Shri Radha Gokunanda ki Jai Sitaram Hanuman ki Jai Gaunitai ki Antara Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Swami Bhaktivedanta ki Srila Prabhupada ki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 2. Yesterday we covered the wrong verse, so today we're covering text 27 and then text 28 or chapter 2. So I'll quickly read chapter 27 and chapter 28, which is today. Chatasyahi dhruva mityu dhruvam janma mityu sacha tasmad aparaya ratya natam sochati arasi. One who has taken his birth is sure to die. After this, one is sure to take birth again. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. Srila Prabhupada's purport. One has to take birth according to one's activities in life. And after finishing one term of activities, one has to die to take birth for the next. In this way, one is going through one cycle of birth and death after another without liberation. This cycle of birth and death does not, however, support unnecessary murder, slaughter and war. But at the same time, violence and war are inevitable factors in human society for keeping law and order. The Battle of Kurukshetra, being the will of the Supreme, was an inevitable event, and to fight for the right cause is a duty of a Kshatriya. Why should he be afraid or grieved at death of his relatives, since he was discharging his proper duty? He did not deserve to break the law, thereby becoming subjected to the reactions of the sinful acts of which he was so afraid. By avoiding the discharge of his proper duty, he would not be able to stop the death of his relatives, and he would be degraded due to his selection of the wrong path of action. Text 28. Avyaktani nai bhutani avyakta madhyani bharata avyakta madhyani aiva tatra ka padeva vina. All created beings are manifest in the beginning, manifest in the intermediate state, and manifest again when annihilated. So what need is there for lamentation? Srila Prabhupada's purport, accepting that there are two classes of philosophers, one believing in the existence of the soul and other not believing in the existence of the soul, there is no cause for lamentation. For in either case, non-believers in the existence of the soul are called atheists by the followers of Vedic wisdom. Yet if, for argument's sake, we accept this atheistic theory, there is still no cause for lamentation. Apart from the separate existence of the soul, the material elements remain unmanifested before creation. From the subtle state of non-manifestation comes manifestation. Just as from ether, air is generated, from air, fire is generated, from fire, water is generated, and from water, earth becomes manifested. From the earth, many varieties of manifestations take place. Take, for example, a big skyscraper manifested from the earth. When it is dismantled, the manifestation becomes again unmanifested and remains as atoms in the ultimate stage. The law of conservation of energy remains, but in course of time things are manifested and unmanifested. That is the difference. Then what cause is there for lamentation, either in the stage of manifestation or unmanifestation? Somehow or other, even in the unmanifested stage, things are not lost. Both in the beginning and at the end, all elements remain unmanifested, and only in the middle are they manifested, and this does not make any real material difference. And if we accept the Vedic conclusion as stated in Bhagavad Gita, that these material bodies are perishable in due course of time, antavatameva deha, but that the soul is eternal, nitya sakta sarirana, then we must remember that always the body is like a dress. Therefore, why lament the changing of a dress? The material body has no factual existence in relation to the eternal soul. It is something like a dream. In a dream, we may think we are flying in the sky or sitting on a chariot as a king, but when we wake up, we can see that we are neither in the sky nor seated on a chariot. The Vedic wisdom encourages self-realization on the basis of the non-existence of the material body. Therefore, in either case, whether one believes in the existence of the soul or one does not believe in the existence of the soul, there is no cause of lamentation for the loss of the body. Om Agyanti Mandasya Gana Gana Salakaya Chaksurmaya Tamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhistam Stapina Mena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swabharantikam Mandeham Sri Guru Sita Padaguna Sri Guru Vaishnava Shri Rupam Sagajatam Saganatam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Pajna Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Visakamitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagarpate Gopisa Gopika Ganta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakaupadubhasya Kripa Sindhubhaya Patina Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Gadada Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, first I'll cover text 27. So for one who's following the real understanding of what the goal of life is, he will come to the understanding how life is eternal. Unfortunately, Hare Krishna. Unfortunately, due to the present time of the age of Kali, people are covered by the modes of ignorance and passion. And because of these modes of nature, people don't really see the proper understanding of what the reality of life is. So, today's education is based on how everything is coming from matter. And they take to this Buddhist philosophy that everything becomes void at the end of life. So enjoy as much as you can and don't worry about the future. But we can see from the scientifically point of view of what the scriptures are saying, how the living entity is eternal. And in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita is given how the soul is going from boyhood to youth to old age. The body is changing, but the person within the body is not changing. The person, even in old age, feels young. He always remembers his past, when he was young. So we can see from this how if we go by what the scriptures are saying, we can see how the soul is eternal. And we can see, in other words, how those who take to this wrong philosophy, how life is coming from matter, we can see how they end up committing mistakes which are based on 4 defects, which is a tendency to cheat, make mistakes, be illusion, imperfect senses. So we see how even these people's lifestyle is not in proper way of line of purity. They take the principles which affects them by the modes of nature, goodness, passion, ignorance, and the other thing is that they get affected by difficulties in life, which is by the mind and body. 3 kinds of miseries affect them: the mind and body, Adhyatmic, Adhidevik, and Adhibhotik. So Adhyatmic is body and mind. Adhidevik means natural distancing. Adhibhotik, Adhyatmic, body and mind. Adhidevik, natural distancing. Adhibhotik means by other living entities. So, We can see even if someone is working in a place, someone may say something to him and he may get disturbed very quickly. And then we can see how the body and mind if someone eats too much, then he'll get sick very quickly. He may have to fast for a few days. And the mind is, if we're not listening to the, if we take the association of those who are not in good standing, we get affected with the mind. The mind will degrade us. So, in order to conquer this mind, we have to follow Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. And we can see even these people who are following this philosophy of how life is coming from matter, is they also learning from hearing from their authorities. So it's not like they are knowing everything by their own strength. So, but the only difference is with their philosophy is based on enjoying the body. And we see from that how the body is made of ignorance and is made of matter. So from the beginning when it takes birth to the point when it dies, it's always giving misery to the living entity, because the body is temporary, it has a limited duration of life, it's temporary, it's full of miseries, and it causes disturbance in life. Hare Krishna. So and the body is considered like a machine. So, but the human form of life is a special gift actually, that we can understand who is Krishna, who is God. The other life forms cannot understand about who is God. They cannot become self-realized. The human form of life is achieved after 8,400,000 species. And the civilized human form of life is very rare. So, it's mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada mentioned in one of the purports, one can achieve perfection in 1 second, or it can take millions of lifetimes. So it's up to us how much we are ready to accept the teachings. We can see Prabhupada comments in text 28 how everything has a beginning, it has a middle, then it gets destroyed. So for those who accept the spiritual path, which Krishna is giving in Bhagavad Gita as it is, the material world is like a dream. So, at night time when one is sleeping, one is in a nighttime dream, and when he's awake, he forgets the nighttime dream. And when he's sleeping, he forgets the daytime dream. So which one is a reality? Which one is a reality? Actually, is both illusion. because everything will be finishing at the end of life. So, the secret is that we have to understand what Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita. By understanding what Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, we can overcome this cycle of birth and death. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Janma kama jama divyam emam vivati tattva taktana puddha janma neti mamani sorjuna. The one who understands my pastimes and activities, at the end of living his body, doesn't have to come back to this material world. So now there's another way of having another vision about this, which is given in the purport, that those who cultivate the spiritual vision, we see generally they follow a certain level of spiritual ethics and spiritual principles. Like we can see, for example, like even if someone's not so well scholarly or very learned, even in the beginning, he has purity behind him because he's practicing these four principles of no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex. So by following these principles, it puts you on a path of purity. And in this way, by following the line of purity, one gets blessings from Krishna and the devotees. And then, in this very life which he is living, he's not living in the material world, he's living in the spiritual world. Because the material world is also part of Krishna's kingdom. It's just the prison house quarters. So, for Krishna, it doesn't make any difference between matter and spirit. Like an electrician, he can change electricity to cold and he can change it to heat. So for Krishna, it doesn't make any difference. He can enter within matter also. Because all these material elements are coming from Krishna. Bhumir, apornaya, vayu, kamabuddhi, evacha, ahankariti, mate, bina prakriti, asita. So, so the more we understand who Krishna is, the more we become free from the miseries of this world. And even in this body we can achieve the eternal happiness. So in order to achieve this happiness, all we have to do is relate to Krishna as a person. And the example is given, just like there are many notes. But if there's no one, the notes have no meaning. But as soon as one is there, they become 10, 100, 1,000, million, like that. So that one is Krishna. So having Krishna there, then everything has a plus. And this is where the Mayavadis, they fail to understand this point, that they have this misunderstanding that they think when you rip the paper up, eventually the paper disappears. But in spiritual life, 1 plus equals 1 and 1 minus is 1. So they don't have that understanding how Krishna is complete. So so the difference between someone who's a devotee and a demon is, a devotee, he sees Krishna everywhere. Just like, example can be given, just like in text 27 it mentions about how law and order has to be there for keeping religious principles. And the Battle of Kurukshetra was fought for the making law and order. So, before the Battle of Kurukshetra happened, King Yudhishthira, he went to the other side, and he went to Dronacharya, Kripacharya, and he also went to Bhishmadev to ask for their blessings so he can defeat them. So we can see from this how by following this line of getting blessings from seniors, everything gets achieved in terms of because even in the material world, it's not like you can live with your own strength. You have to help people, you have to have help from people around you. So same thing in spiritual life. In order to advance, one has to have blessings from those who are practicing around one. So, so in order to facilitate that, Krishna, when he comes, when we speak about Krishna, Krishna is never alone. Just like when a king is coming, a king is never alone. He's with his entourage, secretaries, soldiers, like that. So when Krishna is coming, he's coming with his associates. And he's coming with his devotees. So by serving those who are dear to Krishna, we please Krishna much easier. So there's a little difference between those who try to understand how they're the soul, different from the body, just like jnanis and yogis. They try and understand this, but they miss out who Krishna is. So in their endeavor to achieve perfection, is mentioned in Surrender unto Me, is given in there how they get the different elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether, like that. So by these demigods in the different elements, the soul gets taken to different places, up and up, until it gets taken to Brahman. But in Brahman, one cannot stay forever because there is no activity there. Example is given, just like if you're sitting in a chair by yourself in a room, you may feel peaceful, but how long can you sit in a chair by yourself? Or say one is flying in the sky, just like the Russians when they went to the moon, find out where this moon landing, their mind was going, where is my country, Russia? So the Brahman is like that. There is no activity. There is no relationship. You're on your own. So those who are intelligent, they realize that having a relation with Krishna is the ultimate goal of life. And Krishna shows this in his pastimes. He's inviting all the conditioned souls. He's saying, I'm here with my mother and father, with my boyfriend and girlfriends, with my animals, with the river Yamuna, with the trees. You come and join me and I'll make you happy like me. But the unfortunate thing is, because people identify with matter too much, they're too attached to material attachments, so the vision gets blocked. So the secret is to use everything for Krishna's service. And in this way we get purified to the point where we can see everything in a spiritual way. So in order to see like that, we have to be with those who, we have to get trained up to see through the eyes of Shastra. At the present, we depend on the mundane eyes. But how much can the mundane eyes see? If it gets dark, we can't see anything. We are limited. So, the Shastras give us a proper vision how to see things. And it says, Shruti Smiti Punanadi Panchataka Vidya Vidya Ahari Kalpa Vidya Kalpate. That those who ignore the Shruti and Smriti and do devotional service, they will cause disturbance in society. So, this point of going by the Shastra is very important, because in this way we will achieve the proper goal of life. The Shastra can be compared to like a roadmap to show you how you can achieve your goal. You're going to your direction. Just like if you got a machine, washing machine, it'll show you how to use it'll show you how to use the machine. Bhagavad Gita is like a spiritual roadmap in terms of showing you, training you up how you're not this body, and it's also teaching you how Krishna is the Supreme Lord. By surrendering to Him, all your difficulties will go away and you can achieve eternal happiness. It says this happiness in life of family, society and friendship is like a drop of water in a desert. The happiness of Krishna consciousness is a real happiness. Because the present society is like trying to enjoy happiness, but it's like a fish taken out of water. One can give the fish so many things, opulence, but because he's not in his environment, he will not be happy. So present day society is in the same state that they are thinking that they can achieve happiness from the material platform, but that is not our constitutional position. Our constitutional position is that we are part and parcel of Krishna, and by pleasing Krishna we become happy. So there's an example of this given. How by pleasing Krishna you become happy. There's a story in Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, how because Lord Varaha killed Hiranyaksha and Lord Nrsimha killed Hiranyakashipu, Diti felt that Lord Vishnu had killed her son, so she wanted to take revenge against Indra. So she pleased her husband Kashyapa Muni, and then when she pleased him, she wanted a blessing to kill Indra. So Kashyapa Muni, being a Prajapati, he advised her to do a prior Chita ceremony, because he didn't feel Indra was in the wrong. So he told Diti, if you do this ceremony and you do it properly, then if you achieve the goal, then your purpose of killing Indra will happen. But if you make any mistakes, then the friend of Indra will come in. So Indra, being a powerful demigod, he was watching everything. about deity's activities, this ceremony she was doing. One time deity forgot to wash her hands and mouth. So Indra entered her womb and he cut the embryo. He went into 7, and he cut it again when it was 49. 7, 7, 49, like that. And all his maruts manifested. The embryo didn't die, but these maruts manifested. Soul expanded to 49 forms and these children manifested. And the maruts are telling Indra, why are you trying to kill us? We are your friends. So when Indra came out with the maruts to see Diti, Diti asked Indra, what really happened? Tell me the story. So Indra told her the story. And she was happy and Indra was happy that he had 49 maruts to go with him back to heaven. So from this we can see how by putting Krishna in the center, everyone becomes happy. But the only difficulty is in the material world, because everyone's trying to put themselves in the center, that's where the difficulty comes in. So this is one of the challenges of the Krishna conscious movement, is to help everyone understand how by putting Krishna in the center, everyone can become happy. And so one of the examples Prabhupada gives in his purports in the second chapter, coming to understand how we are not the body, is we should become free from lamentation and we should do some level of austerity. If we don't do these two things, then understanding the soul will be not possible. So the program which Srila Prabhupada has given imbibes some level of austerity, and through knowledge we can overcome lamentation. That's why Prabhupada said, everyone should read my books 1 or 2 hours every day, and renunciation will come in. Jai Srila Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.